Welcome, to the Rustenburg Podcast.
Molweni. Good afternoon. It's a happy Monday, no Blue Monday today. I'm very excited to be back again on podcast number. I've even lost count, but I'm super excited for this one because I'm not in my normal space. You will see there's full of books, So we in the space, and today we're having a conversation with Mrs. Wates. How are you?
Oh, I'm well, thank you, Chapello. It's lovely to be here.
Thank you very much for joining us. First of all, I'm very happy that I am sitting in your space.
Welcome.
How does it feel to have guests in your space?
It's actually very good because we're used to this.
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying seeing the shelves moved around a little bit. It's giving me ideas just when I'm about to leave. I'm suddenly thinking I should have changed this.
Yeah. And of course, we're also joined by Mr. Wates in here. How are you?
Very good, thank you, Tupelo.
Good. Did I say it right? Is it Mr. Wates or Dr. Wates?
I think I've retired, so I could be either.
Yeah.
Both are fine.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much for joining us. How does it feel that like your wife's journey is coming to, and I mean with Rustenburg, obviously she still has a long journey to go.
3.5 years of being a book widower.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to have her back.
Very interesting. Cool. So let's get into it. Today we're having a conversation about farewell. I don't want to call it farewell, but anyway, Mrs. Wates is retiring. She will be at home having some good time. Pam said, packing your bags.
Absolutely.
And going on to a journey and all of those things. And we're having a conversation about that. That's why we're here. And Jenny, before we start, let's take it back. I want you to talk to me about your childhood. Where were you born?
Right. Back in the Eastern Cape.
Yes.
That's where it all started. Born in what was then Port Elizabeth, but spent very, very many
years. Is it Gqeberha now?
Yes, it is. Very many happy years in the East London. So that was a home from home.
Yeah.
And I matriculated in East London
Yes.
at a school very similar to Rustenburg. It was an all-girls school.
Yes.
But East London's a very friendly place. You can tell people who come from the Eastern Cape, they've got that certain spirit about them.
Yeah.
And it was a great childhood. Growing up, we really just disappeared for days on end, spent our lives on the beach.
Yes.
But I was very fortunate. I had a headmistress who was a literature fundi. That was the best way to describe it. And that school offered literature as a matric subject, which I don't think was popular in those days.
Yeah.
And so that's where part of my love of reading came from. And she introduced us to the most amazing things: poetry, plays, American literature, things that we hadn't had exposure to. And so I think that was really formative. And I went on to read English at varsity. Yeah. And the rest, they say, is history. So that was good.
So what are we talking? 19? Sorry.
Gosh, this is really, no, you shouldn't have said that. 1978, I matriculated. You probably weren't even born.
I was not.
No.
Yeah.
So that was 78. And then my parents had actually they were both raised in Cape Town, Capetonians, and they used to bring us on holiday to see family. Yeah. So it wasn't unusual when I thought of coming to Cape Town to study.
Okay. Then let's speak about your love for books, reading, and all of those things. Is this happening in your high school days, in your primary school days?
Primary school, because my mom was a reader. She loved nonfiction. I mean, I found her reading my brother's engineering magazines, which I think is different. So I think my love of nonfiction, which is one genre I love, that probably came from her. And she used to read to us when we were sick.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we would lie in bed and she would be reading stories. But I have to say, what we have, and I mean, in this library, if you look around, what we have in terms of what's available is massive compared with what we had. I mean, we had Enid Blyton. We really had to go to the public library. And while there was a lot, it wasn't anything like we have today. So I think we had to use our own imagination a lot. I mean, this is dating myself a lot more. There was no TV. So comics were the thing. And I mean, people say, what about my child reading comics? We love comics. We grew up with those. Never stopped us moving on to other things. So it's a phase, and it was good. So all of that fed in. And I think if you've got that background, it's easy to move on to other things. So at the moment, I have a list. I don't think I'm going to live long enough to get through it. So I really have so much I want to read.
Yeah.
And at varsity, again, that was great because you were exposed to all sorts of other literature.
Yeah.
And I love reading, so it became a natural thing. And if you're passionate about it, you'll be able to bring that to the people that you interact with. So I think that's good.
Yeah. And Mark, maybe let me bring you in. Where then do you meet Jenny?
I met Jenny at University of Cape Town.
Yeah.
I was friends with her, who's now my sister-in-law. So
Yes.
and got to know Jenny's brother.
Yes.
And Jenny's brother introduced me to Jenny.
Yeah.
And we went to a wedding together, a friend of our mutual friend's wedding. And normally I would sit next to my other friends.
Yes.
Because I didn't really know Jenny at that point.
Yeah.
And somehow or other they arranged that Jenny sat next to me. So somebody had a vision there that maybe the two of us were compatible.
Yes.
And then things blossomed from there.
Wow.
So
yeah. What impact do you think Jenny had in your life in terms of reading or loving books or just even, I mean, you spend a lot of your time, by the way, in this building as well. As well. At some point, I think I've said to a couple of friends, man, I think we should put you in payroll. we should be putting you in payroll. What impact has Jenny had in your life when it comes to reading, love of literature, and so forth?
I definitely have always enjoyed books, but not to the same extent as Jenny.
Yeah.
And then probably over the last many years, our passion's been mainly non-fiction.
Yeah.
And the travels we've done, like to places in like Nepal, South America, and that I've gone and read a lot of books about Nepal, about the Himalayas, Mount Everest, all the history around it, and that. So, and never tire of that.
Yeah.
Also, fairly recently, I've read quite a lot about the Antarctic and a lot of adventurers that went to Antarctic and did not do very well, and others did very well, and some amazing stories that came out of that.
Yeah.
So travel books I really, really enjoy. And at the present moment, I'm trying to write my story.
Wow.
And which basically involves the travels that we do.
Yeah.
Plus a few other things. So
yeah.
So I think so in terms of Jenny's influence, very often I pop into thrift shops.
Yeah.
And we've bought a huge number of books at very good prices from thrift shops. In fact, a lot of the books here are probably from places like Help the Rural Child and Oasis and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
You get good quality books at good prices.
Yeah.
So that's been fantastic. The problem is we've run out of space. We have got books everywhere, wall to floors, or floor to ceiling bookshelves full of books.
That's a good problem to have, by the way.
It is.
It is a good problem to have.
Yeah.
And every now and then you say, I must go and look for that book. And now you say, I need a librarian at home to sort out our books. And categorize them. So.
Yeah. No, lucky you, because you're going to have now full time at home. And so Jenny, let's then speak about your career journey. Where did it all start? Before you came to Rustenburg, I know you at Rustenburg, you left and then you came back. Take me through the whole journey.
Okay, I was actually not thinking of doing teaching. I was considering social work.
Yes.
Or psychology because I was really interested in that.
Yeah.
But things changed and I ended up studying teaching at UCT.
Yes.
And then one of my teaching practices was at Rustenburg.
Yeah.
So I walked into a grade 6 class and Louise Kula, who some people may know as Louise Lawrence, who's sadly no longer with us.
Yeah.
She was the teacher. And I arrived and she left. And I was left with her class. She was going to do a workshop for a couple of days.
Yes.
So she'd left all the work.
So you left you then are a student teacher at that time. Okay.
So I'm a student teacher in this class and the teachers disappeared. And
swim or sink.
Yes, I know. Is there something wrong here? But what happened was it was a fantastic experience.
Yeah.
And Louise was my North Star.
Yeah.
If there's one person who stands out in terms of somebody that you recognize in your teaching career, it was Louise.
Yeah.
Simply because she was so creative.
Yeah.
And her love of literature, she imparted this to the girls. She was doing things with them that I hadn't come across. And it was inspirational. And she was also a great critical thinker. So she inspired the girls to think critically. And I was there for, 2 weeks or something.
Yeah.
And then I left, went off to the Eastern Cape, taught in different schools, ended up moving around the country to a rural hospital, worked with adults in the field of literature in a very rural setting, and that was fantastic. Worked with children in the hospital a little bit, and during that time I specialized, but in learning support. So children who were struggling with reading and numeracy. And then I decided once I'd done that, I would start on school librarianship. And then we came back to Cape Town. Finally, after about a year, I decided to finish up with some studies and then looked for a job. And Rustenburg was offering a learning support role. So I applied and I got that. And that was just over 16 years. And I loved that. It was fantastic working with all the therapists, inside the school, outside the school, speech therapists, OT, psychologists. I think it was a huge learning curve for me. It was also very good working with the staff that Rustenburg had because they were very supportive. So that for me was a massive learning curve. After that, I decided I wanted to go and work at a school and help with the setting up of a learning support team. We'd already had something similar at Rustenburg. So I went to Somerset West and was there for a few years. And again, a lot of fun. I have to say that the word fun enters into my career a lot. And I mean, that's where one is so fortunate and privileged because I have had an enormous amount of fun doing what I did. And, starting originally as a class teacher and then moving into the field of learning support. And then one day Mark was reading the newspaper, as you did back in the day. And he said, there's a librarianship post at Rustenburg. And he was traveling backwards and forwards to Cape Town, so it was a little bit tricky. And I thought, apply, see what happens. And I got the post. So I came back into this space and have been here for over 15 years. And what was fantastic about this was all the creative areas that you can do. So we had wonderful readathons, and you could go wild. I mean, I remember being a gorilla and handing out bananas, and I remember doing, we had a carnival as a theme, and we had fire dancing in the hall, and I thought afterwards, when I look back at that, I mean, where was all the health and safety features? You had one fire extinguisher, and that was it. And we had a wonderful time. It was really great, and I've loved working with the girls because you've got grade R to grade 7, and you have little ones with all sorts of traumas, and then you have the big one with all their fun and quirky things.
You can continue.
And you have, as you can hear the intercom in the background. But I think I've been fortunate. I really count myself as amazingly privileged and lucky to have had such a variety of opportunity and to have worked with such a wide range of girls.
Does it then say that the decision you made to go into teaching instead of social work or psychology, was it then right at this point? Can you say that?
Yes, I definitely think it was right. You never know what you've missed. You can't you can't miss something that you haven't really had. But I've been able to use all of my qualifications in some way. And right up until the end. So I'm very pleased about that.
Okay. So Jenny, then tell me, what do you think you are worried about when you are leaving this space? And I'll tell you why I'm asking you this question. Because you speak about how Mark saw a post on the newspaper. We are in a space where everything is digital, almost like print media is like dying. A lot of reading, even with hard copies now, we now moving digital. Kids are no longer there spending a whole lot of times on phones and all of those things. The shift of literature is changing so much. So as you move out, are you worried about that? Or what's your feelings regarding that? I mean, obviously things has to change. We have to evolve, and innovation has to come into play. But what's your feeling around all of that?
I'm not worried. Because you have to make adaptations. I mean, long ago, people they didn't have. As I said, we didn't have the books that you have today. So already that was a shift in my lifespan. And I didn't think that I would enjoy reading on a phone. I mean, reading on a Kindle is one thing. But I found myself taking my phone off on holiday and reading on the phone, downloading things on the public service library apps. It's different. There's something about a book, the feel of the book. That's great. I don't sniff the books. The girls come in and they say, this is a new book, and they open it and they smell it. I've never...
And you can replace that.
Yes, you can't replace that. You don't pick up the phone and do that. But I think the most important thing is that you're reading. So whether you're reading on a phone, whether you're reading on a tablet, whether you're reading in a book, it doesn't really matter. And as I've said, different genres work for other people. So I don't enjoy adult fantasy. It's just not doesn't float my boat.
Yeah.
But I will enjoy other books. And really at the end of the day, it's what you get out of it, because it's so enriching and it's relaxing. And I think I wouldn't really get myself concerned about that.
Yeah.
And at junior school level, children can't bring phones to school, and some of them do have tablets, but they don't necessarily bring them to school for security reasons. So they are still taking books. I think my biggest concern is rather that of children who don't read at all, or who struggle with reading, and then you've got to try and help them find that just right book for them.
Yeah.
And that's really important.
Okay.
You're never going to be lonely if you have a book.
Yeah. No, very true. And then, Mark, let me bring you in then. Let me hear your views around the fact that there is now movement happening from the newspaper. It's a good story that you speak about how you saw that post in the newspaper, that if I ask myself in the next 10 years, it's either if you don't have LinkedIn, you're in trouble. If you don't have, there's a whole lot of shift that's happening. And what do you think about that move from your print to your digital space?
Well, certainly news, there's so much that one sees on Google, on News 24, BBC, etc., etc. So we've definitely moved away from print newspapers.
Yeah.
Because you get and you're looking at mainly headlines. You're not really going into in-depth.
Yeah.
Unless you've subscribed. And we've tended not to subscribe.
Yeah.
But we just look at the headlines.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that's possibly not a good thing.
Yeah.
Because every now and then you walk past the newspaper at the shop and you think, they're not cheap anymore.
Yeah.
And it's probably because not many people are buying them.
Yeah.
So obviously it's become expensive to actually buy a newspaper.
Yes.
So, which is sad. So I remember the old days when you used to get the Weekend Argus, it would come with about 3 different sections just of property adverts.
Yeah.
And that was fantastic if you needed to collect newspaper for charity or something.
Yeah.
But there was the newspapers were thick with a lot of news in them, whereas now they're definitely much more, much thinner, but a lot more expensive.
Yeah.
Sadly.
Yeah.
And one tends to get your news as headlines rather than in depth.
Yeah, it becomes now a clickbait.
What we do tend to do is listen to the radio quite a lot.
Yeah.
So Cape Talk Radio, that goes into quite a lot of local news.
Yeah.
But not much international.
Yeah.
And then on TV, we don't have any of the subscription channels.
Yeah.
But we do have access to the French news. And there they go into quite a lot of detail, what's happening in the Middle East, Ukraine, that sort of thing. So that's where we're tending to get our news from rather than the print.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Things like Time Magazine, National Geographic, that we don't subscribe to anymore. We did many years ago.
Yeah.
But the thing is you collect those so quickly that so
I do think, though, to interrupt you, that it's a different generation. So they're going to possibly also have limited space.
Yeah.
Young people nowadays don't easily own their own property, and they move around a lot more.
Yeah.
So it's more portable.
Yeah.
But I think the most important thing is to teach people to be critical thinkers, because there's a lot of material that appears online, just like things that could appear in print. And if you pick it up, you begin to believe a lot of what's out there.
Yeah. And it's actually what you feed in. Yeah.
And also, bad news sells.
Yeah.
We don't always see the good news. And I think that's important to try and get that message across.
Yeah.
So where there are local things that are being done, you want people to have exposure, to see what's going on. Otherwise, it ends up being a bit of a negative environment, because news can feed into that in negative ways. So one's got to really keep looking for the positive.
Okay. Mark, I'm going back to you. Jenny spent 15 years, and I don't think it's 15 years. I mean, Pam speaks about 30-something years. Those are the technicalities. You having to share Jenny with Rustenburg. This is her weekends. This is even after hours, and even coming into the space, helping her, doing what you do. What are you most proud of the time that she has spent at Rustenburg? And I'm going to round it off to 30 years, because 15 years doesn't do justice. Is it 30 years?
Nearly 32.
Oh, 32. Yes. Let me correct.
Nearly 32.
32 years that you've had to share her with us. You've had to share her with the girls. You've had to share her with the staff members. You had to share her time with us, and that, I think, we can never take it for granted, because she was contracted until a certain time, but she was here on Saturdays or after times, after hours, and all of those things. And what are you most proud of?
Well, let me just say, we next, or the end of this week, we'll be married for 43 years.
Wow.
I worked as a doctor for 40 years.
Yes.
And she had to share my career. I dealt with, so I was doing lots of night duties, weekend duties, all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So we don't have any children.
Yes.
But I had lots of children being a pediatrician, but mine were always sick.
Yeah.
Jenny had lots of children, but they were always the same age. So as soon as they got to 14 or whatever, they were out of here.
Yeah.
So in essence, we shared each other's careers in one sense of the word.
Yeah.
When we worked in the mission hospital for 4.5 years, there Jenny was she didn't earn anything for 4.5 years, but she was very involved with adult literacy, going to the wards, teaching the children and that sort of thing. So there we, in essence, and that was always a very special time for us. Yeah. We actually shared that time together where we lived on the premises, on the hospital premises.
Yeah.
And Jenny would come up during our tea times and sit with the doctors there and that, and I'd go home for lunch, and then Jenny would never know what time I'd get back from work.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we'd finish at 10 o'clock at night because we worked until the work was done.
Yeah.
And it was a very busy hospital, and very often there were 2 or 3 doctors. That's it, total.
Yeah.
So in that sense, we shared a lot.
Yeah.
I'm very proud of Jenny because so often I've said, I wish I'd had a teacher like Jenny when I was at school.
Yeah.
Because we definitely didn't have someone who's committed as much as she is that we're aware of.
Yeah.
But you never know. I mean, I'm sure the girls think, Jenny probably goes home just after they go home. And she comes to school maybe just before they arrive. And, when she's at home, she plays.
Yeah.
Not true.
Yeah.
Jenny works incredibly hard.
Yeah.
But I've just seen what she's put into something like this library. It's just phenomenal, actually.
Yeah.
We've spent a lot of time going to bookshops. I've spent a lot of time driving to bookshops to pick up the books that Jenny's ordered for the school. And just the variety and the interest that she shows, commitment to her job. It's incredible. If everybody had that kind of commitment, I think the world might be a different place.
Yeah.
But I'm very proud of her and what she's done and what she's achieved.
Sure.
In one sense, I was quite glad when she became a librarian because at the end of the second term and the end of the fourth term, I had to read all her reports.
Yeah.
When she was a remedial teacher. And the reports are very detailed, much more detailed than I expected they would be. And it was quite tough for me because she'd come in the night before and say, Mark, 24 reports. Could you read them quickly to check for spelling mistakes and that sort of thing? And so when she became a librarian, I thought, no more reports. But she didn't say anything about covering or fixing books or anything like that. I didn't do any of that until I retired. I didn't realize Jenny actually has a lot of work that's piled up. And it took us a whole year just to catch up.
Sure.
The first year of my retirement was just catching up Jenny's. So that the following 2 years was just keeping up. So we worked jolly hard that first year. And seem to be working pretty hard these last 6 months to try and get everything finished. So
sure. And Jenny, from your side, when you look at the mirror, what are you most proud of in the 30 years that you've been at Rustenburg?
Oh gosh, that's quite a tricky question.
Yeah.
I think being available is what comes to mind because children, when they get to high school, adults they're fine, but they've got a life of their own. Whereas when you're working with younger children, no matter how cool the grade 7s sometimes think they are, they do want someone around when everything perhaps becomes a bit of a challenge. Maybe they're going through a tough time. And I know from when I've had mails from parents who've thanked me and saying, you've created a safe space for my daughter. She can be here. She enjoys being in the library, somewhere where she can chill. I think that's the important thing. You don't always remember what someone's taught you. But I think if you've been around them and you've made them feel positive, that's the important thing.
Yeah. Okay. Your time at Rustenburg, do you have a time where the best memory?
I think that some of the best memories were when we were having the most fun.
Yes.
So the best memories of readathons.
Yeah.
Everybody was working together as a great team.
Yeah.
And we were planning and we were introducing the idea and the theme.
Yeah.
Having a lot of fun, and everybody got on board. And I think that was a good time. I know that people might say, "Oh, why do you look at learning support as being a good time?" But I think if you can give a child the door to opening up reading, to opening up numeracy skills.
Yeah.
You're giving them something that they will take away and it will enhance their lives in such a important aspect.
Yeah.
And I think that for me was very satisfying when you see someone who's been struggling and they can actually walk away.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, someone came back as a guest speaker.
Wow.
And she said to me, she popped into the library, that was this year, and she said, "You took my sister." And I couldn't remember this.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen so many girls over the years. And she said, "My sister is now a teacher."
Wow.
And she remembers you and working.
Wow.
And I remember sitting with one of the girls once, and she said to me, "I want to do what you do."
Yes.
And she became a teacher later on. And you never see these people. But I think that's the important part.
Yeah.
It's not so much that you can stand up and say, "Okay, this is the impact that I've made." I think the impact tends to be unseen in many instances. I sometimes think that when you think you're making an impact, you probably aren't.
Yeah.
And it's the unseen part that you play.
Sure.
I think that's important.
So you are leaving Rustenburg in a few days. The person taking over, what message do you want to leave for her?
Well, Teba is going to do a great job. I've got absolutely no doubt about that. And I think that she's going to bring a different scope and a different viewpoint. And I've said to the girls before she even arrived, I said, "Please don't say Mrs. Wates did it this way. That's the last thing you want." I said, "There will be changes." And they looked at me, they were quite surprised.
Yeah.
But I think it's vital that somebody comes with something different, because that's how growth takes place. Otherwise, you're going to have the wheel has got to be reinvented all the time. And I mean, just as I said now, looking around and seeing how things could be done, that's great. And I hope she enjoys herself and has fun.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the girls are going to slot in, and it'll just be business as usual.
Sure. Okay, Jenny, closing remarks now. Last few questions. So when it's all said and done, when everything, your purpose is done, when you walk out of this door the last day, when you're no longer in earth in the world, right? How do you want to be remembered? When every single thing where your purpose is done, that you have nothing else to give, how do you want to be remembered?
I think someone who cared.
Yeah.
Someone who cared. That would be the most important thing.
Yeah.
Because we need more people in the world who will care.
Yeah.
The world's a sad place. You just have to look at the news. And I think if someone showed you that they were interested, they cared about you enough to listen to you, that will be important. Because when you give your time, you're actually giving your life.
Sure. I'm taking that. I am taking that. I'm teaching that to my daughter.
Good. And you know what? You should be doing that until the time you breathe your last.
Yeah. Sure. Mark, any closing remarks?
I'm going to miss coming here and fixing books and covering books. I've already been offered a job by the new librarian.
Yeah.
Problem is it's not in her budget.
Very expensive. Yeah.
No, I'm looking forward to Jenny being at home and us being able to, in essence, continue our honeymoon. So, because now we'll be together without the constraints of work, which is what honeymoon started for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then it was 40 odd years of working.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now back to honeymoon.
Yeah. Sure.
Well, that must mean a good journey planned somewhere.
Yeah. So, Jenny, thank you very much. I mean, the impact you've had on myself personally, it's just been a very great one. I mean, you're one of the few people, when I count, that they were very welcoming to me when I came into this place, that was very warm to me. And you always somehow very happy. I've never bumped into you personally, even if you're having a bad day. I don't even know when Jenny's not having a good day. And it's just been very easy to work with you. It's just been very soft. It's just been very refreshing. And I think your energy and every single project that I've worked with you has just like somehow been passed through to me when I engage with you. And sometimes, I leave the office and I'm like, I'm going to see Jenny. And then Pam says, we've got a meeting in the next 15 minutes. And I'm like, no, even if I've got a meeting in the next 15 minutes, 30 minutes, I really enjoy talking to you. Like, I forget even about what's happening next. And it's just been a pleasure working with you. And I want you, for me, enjoy.
Oh, thank you, Topelo.
It's such a beautiful thing. It's such a beautiful moment. You have done what you needed to do. Now go enjoy.
Thank you. I'm going to enjoy it. And I have to say that it's been great working with you.
Yeah.
And what I've seen you do with the podcast, that was something that I thought we really needed. And
yes,
come to
I remember that
gap.
conversation.
Yes. And you come to fill that gap, and I think it's just perfect and spot on. So I'm going to wish you well with the arrival of your new little Topelo.
Thank you.
And I hope that you get some good sleep. Yes, I'll miss our time together, but we will still connect.
Yeah.
We've still got a few things that we will touch base on. So thank you for all you've done as well. It's been really great.
Cool. Pleasure. There you go, ladies and gentlemen, Rusty Bugs, everyone, we are out of here. Mrs. Wates. Cheers.